This is good.
You might help us with some.
Wait, sir.
Yeah, now
That's
there's
good.
like
Yeah.
volume.
Volume.
I'll adjust it. So is that the distance you'll be keeping?
I think this will be okay. Little that's good. Okay. Yeah. Shall we start? ॐ विश्वं दर्पणदृश्यमाननगरी तुल्यन्निजान्तर्गतं पश्यन्नात्मनि मायया बहिर्वोद्धूतं यथा निद्रया यस्साक्षात् कुरुते प्रबोधसमये स्वात्मानमेवाद्वयं तस्मै श्रीगुरुमूर्तये नमः श्रीदक्षिणामूर्तये बीजस्यान्तरिवाङ्कुरो जगदिदं प्राङ्निर्विकल्पं पुनः मायाकल्पितदेशकालकलना वैचित्रचित्रीकृतं मायावीव विजृम्भयत्यभिमहायोगी वयस्वेच्छया तस्मै श्रीगुरुमूर्तये नमः श्रीदक्षिणामूर्तये तस्मै श्रीगुरुमूर्तये नमः श्रीदक्षिणामूर्तये ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यङ्करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै ॐ शान्तिः 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 सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम् ॐ can keep some clock or something, so I can.
Can I put this one?
Yeah, anything. Some to see the time.
Sure. Show like this one.
Okay,
Like how
that's
you
fine.
started,
That's
and
fine.
then
Yeah. So we were discussing yesterday how to discover the fearlessness which is most desirable. The fear alone expresses in the form of anxiety, stress, worry, affecting the mental health and then physical health. Connected. Very important. From the worldly aspect. But really speaking, from the spiritual aspect, that fearlessness is called moksha. Fearlessness is a freedom. Freedom from fear. Freedom from fear is centered on oneself. Freedom from insecurity is centered on oneself, which we'll be discussing tomorrow, but I'm just saying. Abhayam pratistham vindate. Pratishtha, abidance, but really not abidance. One abides in fearlessness. What is this? Fearlessness is a nature of oneself, and therefore there is no question of one is abiding in fearlessness which is different from oneself. No. And therefore the better word for pratishtha is a discovery. Discovering fearlessness. One sees oneself free from fear, free from insecurity. That is the goal. It's a human goal. One cannot deny it. No one can deny. Not knowing this, one may employ various means in the world, thinking that gaining securities is ultimately making me free from insecurity, which is never the case. Never the case. Gaining money generally. Money means security. Gaining money, one will become secure. Never the case. More the money, more insecurity, in fact. So the fearlessness, etc., or freedom from insecurity is not centered on object. That's for sure. Then the very desire to become free from insecurity is a wrong desire. It's not a wrong desire, it's a natural desire. Natural desire must have a solution. Your cultivated desire may not have a solution. I may cultivate a desire to go in SpaceX mission, and I called Elon Musk, please take me. He said, Swami, do your job. Yeah, drop the desire. Cultivated desire may not have a solution. I may have a desire to buy Mercedes. You said, Swami, better you do your job. But you cannot remove this desire. The struggle to gain security in one's life continues throughout the life. Therefore, there must be a solution. If there is no solution, this creation is not intelligent. But this is Ishvara's creation, very intelligent. There are means to fulfill the desire. Means is understanding oneself as security. Security is something which is not sought in the objects. Every object is insecure, bound in time, cannot give you security. Itself is insecure. How will it give you security? Common sense. What is the source of security will give you security. If itself is insecure, how will it give you? In fact, you worry about the money rather than money has a worry about you. Yeah. That shows this is all Maya. This is called Maya. Where you think ulta. This is how it is. And we will be discussing that tomorrow. But I just introduced that fear is something, that's a word which indicates everything that I am afraid of. What I am afraid of is another factor. Another factor. Whether there is another factor or not, that's a question. And so fear of separation, fear of unhappiness, fear of rejection, fear of success, failure, fear of losing a job, fear of anything. Fear of loneliness, fear of being isolated. Yeah, Swamiji, I have been isolated. They have formed a group. I was not included in the group. This, that. You know, so much. The solution is Vedanta. Solution is just Vedanta. Psychology cannot provide the solution. Cannot. Even though psychology itself will be saying it's a manifestation of Ishvara, but it doesn't have a solution. Solution is lying somewhere else. Anyway, so fear of isolation, fear of being nobody, fear of lack of future, etc., etc., fear of death, fear of void, I told you yesterday also. And well, to handle those fears, the immediate thing is, the solution is twofold. One is the prayer. Prayer is the most efficacious action because your free will is totally free. Where your free will is free, the action based on that free will, which is free, is the most efficacious action. Generating punyam, removing these hidden variables which create a fear in you. And the second thing is, after doing a prayer, there is an auto-suggestion, which also is a very useful tool. A human mind has the capacity to take the suggestions, right? We have that capacity. If you want to catch a flight at 6 o'clock from San Francisco, well, and you don't have an alarm clock, you say to yourself before going to bed, get up at 4 o'clock. I tell you, you will get up. Without clock, there is a biological clock. That's auto-suggestion, in fact. It's an auto-suggestion. And therefore, there is the auto-suggestion here after every prayer. What kind of prayer also I told you yesterday, I need not repeat. And there is auto-suggestion that, well, I'm getting more and more. My mind is becoming more and more stronger in order to get rid of this fear, because fear is basically a sign of a weak mind. Whether you imagine a fear or whether the situation is really going to come, ultimately you are not able to face that itself is a weakness. Either a weak mind also imagines a lot of fear, and a weak mind is not able to face a certain real situations also. So the solution is this, making yourself stronger through the prayer and auto-suggestion, and thereby one becomes relatively free. Relatively, not absolutely. No, there is an issue, something else, which will bring up this fear again and again, but you will be relatively free from the fear. Then the second thing we discussed is fear of death need not be taking into account the scientific world, scientific inventions, that nothing dies. Nothing dies. They say the amount of the water, amount of the earth, everything, amount of the air, amount is all remains same. There could be transformation from one form to the other, that is there. But there is nothing called decimation of a thing. Totally become non-existent, totally disappears from the world. That is never be the case. Science also tells it, it is proven now. And therefore, well, the death of my body, I feel I will be decimated. I will never appear again. With the death of the body, I will also disappear. No. So it's not actually a fear of a death, it's fear of decimation. No one likes to be decimated. You love existence because you are existence. One loves existence because one is existence. Yeah. Therefore, I never like to be non-existence. And you are not. Everything is in a cycle. It's a manifestation to unmanifestation, unmanifestation to manifestation. There is nothing called non-existence in the world. That also we discussed, right? And then we said, well, fear of death, etc. Again, we are discussing tomorrow. But there are so many other fears which I said you has a basis in a childhood. The first 4.5 to 5 years is basically a core person. That's where basically a person is formed. And those 4.5 or 5 years is a very critical years for a child, human child especially, because being a living being, it has an instinct to survive. But a human child is totally helpless. It doesn't know anything. whatever it wants to convey to the parents, it only knows a language of crying. And sometimes mom also doesn't understand, dad also doesn't understand. They understand by the time child has cried so much, undergone pain so much. Anyway, so that total helplessness is there, instinct to survive is there, and therefore Ishvara has done this arrangement that human child has a total trust in the one who is taking care of itself. So total helplessness is basically compensated by the total trust in the one who takes care of it. And well, that's how it grows. But its trust gets violated here and there all the time. In fact, I told you the instances also. And various things are there. There are clashes between the parents, and there is violence and everything. I don't want to go to the American society where all these things are more predominant compared to the Indian society, where the child is not taken care of. The sense of isolation, sense of loneliness comes from all this. Sense of being separated comes from all this. Because in the nuclear family, sometimes mom doesn't care. It allows the child to cry. It keeps crying, and mom remains busy with something else. Child wants attention. That's how it is. Because totally helpless. So the parents have to basically talk to the child eye to eye and show that yes, you are a welcome guest in our life. If you don't show like that, Duryodhana can be born. Yeah, Duryodhana is born that way. Father is blind, cannot see eye to eye to the children, but mother also unfortunately decides. That's it. Now only Kauravas are born. Yeah. So unconscious, basically. But fortunately, this is all in a conscious mind of the child. But the child basically being totally helpless, and this kind of a pain, anger, fear, if it remains in a conscious mind, the child will die. It's horrible. Day by day these things are happening. And well, it's a Ishvara's arrangement to cover it. Conscious, what is there in conscious mind becomes unconscious. That's Avarana. Avarana, Vikshepa, we all the time learn this is Avarana, in fact. Yeah. And child also has of course it goes to unconscious, and therefore child's conscious mind is saved. Child is a survivor. And then, well, after that, has a Vikshepa also. It has so much insight to cry, right? But doesn't cry. Why? It wants to win the trust of mother. Mother has told, don't cry. Don't cry. The way she tells create more fear, in fact. Yeah. And if it cries, sometimes they beat. Cry more, beat more. This is unfortunate. This is how human life starts. Starts with a total security when it was in the womb of a mother. Totally connected. It's an independent life there. An individual is in individual, right? Totally connected. Once it is separated, snapped, starts independent life with a total helplessness. That's where issue starts. And nobody is an exception, by the way. Everybody has unconscious. I'm going to prove it. Even when one becomes adult, our all responses in the world is not from the conscious mind. In a conscious mind, one may have all wisdom of the Bhagavad Gita, Kameshaha, Krodeshaha, Rajoguna, Samudbhavaha. This anger and all this is bad, right? Everything is there. But what responds is an emotional person, which has a basis in this core person, the child, the frozen child. All our responses, once we respond, then we realize it was wrong. While responding, we are not conscious. Anger is not a conscious response. Fear is not a conscious response. No one wants to be deliberately become fearful. You cannot become fearful. Try. You want to become consciously angry. Try. Even child knows if a father deliberately becomes angry and tries to say something, even child will laugh and runs, remain with that. But when the father really becomes angry, the child will run away. So even it could sense, even the child could sense that my father is really not angry. So if you deliberately become angry, even child will understand. Yeah. So basically, my point is, so the unconscious manifest when it becomes adult and controls this adult in varieties of the situation, in this giving responses. You have to relate. Yeah. Goal of life is to live, and live is to relate. Yeah. Otherwise, one can be alive in a sleeping. Once you sleep, you are alive. You are in a coma, you are alive, but you are not living a life. Living a life means you are relating to the world. In relating, you are responding. And whole your responses comes from unconscious. Only you respond and then you realize it is. You victimize the world by your anger, by your fear, by your jealousy. All unconscious. So one has to process and become relatively free from emotions, free from fear, etc. So that is what we are discussing. So anyway, and I said how to handle, because basically your trust was violated with your parents. Total trust was the child put, but it was violated. So now you have to, as an adult, you have to find some parents, right, which is all-knowing, which is all omnipotent, which is all pervading, so that in your awareness, those parents can remain and you remain secure. And that's the only entity that is Ishvara, who is parent, who is a Janaka and Janani both, right? Yeah. That's how all gods are married. All. Yeah. Nobody is a sannyasi god, okay? All gods are married. It may be Brahma, Vishnu, Shiva, anybody. Even Ganapati, Riddhi, Siddhi. All. What about Hanumanji? Give an exception. But not, at least he is not a sannyasi, he is brahmachari. But most of our gods are along with the power. Janaka and Janani. Material cause, efficient cause. Purusha and Prakriti, whatever. One alone. Abhinna Nimittopadana. So this is also a level of Vedanta. Ultimately that Ishvara is myself, I am the Vivartopadana Karanam. It's fine. Let us handle the first layer. That's fine. We'll be talking tomorrow. But this one, at this level, at least let us become a emotionally healthy, mature person. Then I will be able to appreciate ultimately a total identity with the Ishvara. And so this is all a part of a preparation, basically, where you handle your own emotions. You don't victimize anybody. You handle in such a way that you yourself are a therapist for your taking help of Ishvara. So Ishvara is the greatest therapist, by the way. But you take his help and handle your emotions with a sympathy, love, etc. And this is our vision of the Ishvara. So it is not, Ishvara is not a belief. Ishvara is, we have a faith in Ishvara. No. That's our religion is not a faith, by the way. Not a faith. Ishvara is a matter of understanding. I would not say object of understanding. Otherwise, after the class, somebody will say, Swamiji is not an object. He is a subject. He is subject, object, both. But we are right now, I am taking myself as an individual who has all these issues. So I am taking his help other than myself. You take it. It's a model, basically. Nothing to, don't emphasize. Ultimately, Vedanta's vision is everything is consciousness. That's not vision. Honestly, I'm telling you. Everything is Ishvara is a vision. That's a wholeness. Yeah. Not rejecting. This is mithya, that is mithya. All is manifestation of Ishvara. Whatever type of manifestation, less real, this real, that real, mithya, whatever. What is Ishvara is the vision. Is the vision. In which you are also included. There's a vision of wholeness. Generally, this Vedantin will have Saguna Brahma, Nirguna Brahma, this Brahma, that Brahma. Forget about that. There's nothing else. Whatever is Ishvara. That's the vision. What you experience is also Ishvara. The very experience are also Ishvara. But right now, we want to understand Ishvara. What is Ishvara? So it's not a matter of belief, it's an object of physical understanding. If Ishvara is a matter of belief, well, you will feel insecure. You want others also to believe that. That's how when such a type of systems where they try to basically convert others, to make them believe what they believe also. Then you feel secure. Like an alcoholic person, an alcoholic person he is the one who is really doing this conversion job. He cannot handle this person who is sober. He wants him that he should also take a drink. So he says, come on, this is not a 13th century. This is 21st century. Nothing happens. See, this person is a religious person, but he also takes. That person is a religious person, he also takes. Why don't you also take? And moreover, I tell you, your health will improve. If you take it, whole your gut will become so clean from the bugs. And so he takes a cup of, a bowl of alcohol, puts a worm in that, and worm dies. Look, so whatever is there inside will become clean. Take it. So this also, Ishvara is a matter of belief. They will convert. Ishvara is a matter of understanding. We'll be seeing that. So, what is Ishvara? That's an equation, in fact. What is means this Jagat is Ishvara is an equation. Equation is not to be believed. Equation is to be understood. What Vedanta reveals is all equations. Veda talks about equations. Veda doesn't talk about beliefs. Anyway, so it is our responsibility on the part of the human being, basically, to understand what is Ishvara. And well, Swamiji, but I don't agree with you. Because what is this world, I don't think anything is Ishvara here. Right? So basically what I experience, I take it as a Jagat, but I won't take it as a Ishvara. That's one can ask. Well, that's true. But what you experience may not be true. If you analyze the experience, then your real understanding of thing can come. Sometimes what you experience, but still you are really not gaining the truth of that thing. Pujya Swamiji used to give an example about the person. He was traveling from Chennai to Delhi. and there was a person along with him, the very, very bulky fellow, Australian. And he was in the middle seat, Swamiji was in the last seat, three seat. And he was so bulky that he, lifted rest. And part of that person was on Pujya Swamiji. Swamiji was experiencing took constantly here. And that person had picked up a conversation with Swamiji once the flight, boarded, that he knows that he's a Swami. So he said, well, I am also going to Rishikesh. Via Delhi, I am going to Rishikesh and I am going to meet some Swami. Oh, which Swami you want to meet? So he pulled out a cheat and showed Swami Dayananda, Purani Rishikesh. And then Swamiji said, well, that's me. Oh, that's you? Oh, see, the world is very small, etc. Swamiji said, yes, it is very true. I am experiencing the world is very small. What you experience, still you remain dumb. He was experiencing Swami Dayananda. Didn't know he is Swami Dayananda. And therefore what I experience is this Jagat, inert, cold, uncaring world. This is a definition nowadays. Inert, cold, uncaring. Cold not in terms of temperature. Cold in terms of warmth. No, Swamiji. No warmth of feelings. Nothing here, Swamiji. No love. Cold, uncaring world. You call it as a Ishvara? Well, we have to analyze what you experience. Yeah. Then you come to know the truth. In fact, the truth may be just contrary to what you experience. What you experience is something very inert, etc. But once you analyze, it will be something which is just contrary. You experience sunrise, there is no sunrise. If you analyze. You experience blue sky, there is no blue sky. You experience red sky, blue sky, yellow sky. There is no blue sky, red sky. There is no sky. There is no dough. Blue ocean, there is no blue ocean. Twinkle stars, there are no twinkle stars. What you experience is one thing. When you analyze, you find contrary. You find earth, you experience earth is stationary and sun is moving from east to west. The reality is sun is stationary, earth is moving. That's how it is. So you experience this cold, inert world. When you analyze, you find all that is there is Ishvara. That's the equation we have to understand. So my understanding of who is Ishvara, etc., should be so thorough and complete that I cannot get away from the presence of Ishvara in order to solve the issue with the parents, right? That from the child's awareness, the parents basically have proven that they are not trustworthy, they are not able to take care of the child, etc. So once you understand that, the complete understanding of Ishvara, etc. is there, then definitely your journey is complete. You are really living a life in which you relate to the world, relating in such a manner that you don't victimize with your frozen child, which is there inside, with your responses of the frozen child. Then goal is complete of the life. So, Ishvara is one in whom you can definitely relax, you can feel secure. Well, I am not alienated from this Janani and Janaka because they are all pervading. So, before our birth also, we were feeling totally secure. We were not alienated. I was not alienated from mother. I was in the womb of the mother, totally connected, feeling secure. Well, same thing as an adult I can feel with these parents. Well, in my awareness, I am all the time connected to Ishvara, who is Janani and Janaka, both. Anyway, I mean, this is what we have to understand. And therefore, now the first thing is, my pratigna, that opening statement is, all that is here is Ishvara, we have to understand. This is a vision unfolded by the Vedanta. In my understanding, well, definitely that I, Ishvara, and the world, everything is different, which is really not correct. So Vedanta is basically a vision. It's not a philosophy of some person, founder of. You won't find a founder of Vedanta. There is no founder of Vedanta. So it's a vision, basically, vision of the reality. And therefore, all this, there is a God. God is He. And well, He is located somewhere in the heaven, etc. All this basically are not correct. Upanishad reveals that all that is here, all that you experience is Ishvara. So in this, well, you don't have anything to contend actually. Well, only thing you can ask is prove it. Because it's an equation. All that is here is Ishvara. The space and all elements, all the forms are Ishvara. That's an equation. And that equation has to be proven. Yeah. Equation is to be proven. It's not a matter of a contention here. It's a matter of understanding. So you can't say, I believe it. It's not a matter of belief. What? Because here all that is there is what is known and unknown. What you are aware of, something is unknown. Certain things are not known to you, you are aware of. Certain things are known to you, you are aware of. All that is known and unknown is Ishvara. Does it include me or not? Definitely. Because all that exists is Ishvara, then if you want to get included, you should also exist. If you have a doubt that, I exist, if you have a doubt, then I will have to give you some more arguments that you do exist. But I'm sure that you don't have at least this much doubt that you exist. So when I say all that is Ishvara, all that exists is Ishvara, then definitely you are also included. You also exist. You are also included in the Ishvara. You means your body, your mind, your senses, your memory, right? Everything, your hunger, thirst, everything what is here is Ishvara. Because that is also what we experience. As we experience the world, we experience our own body, we experience our own mind, we experience our own emotions, we experience our memory, we experience our hunger, thirst, everything. We experience our digestion, etc., everything. We experience our senses. So that also should be included in that. Ishvara pervades all the way. Anyway, so we don't have any basis to contend with this. Only thing is we can say it is not proven, or I can say, I'm not able to understand what you say. That's fine. If it is not understood, it's not an issue. This is a thing to be understood. And, definitely. So I don't want you to believe God for God's sake at least. Please don't believe. Yeah. Okay. Did your grandfather, grandmother exist? First thing. How can you say they exist? You have never seen great-grandfather. You have never seen. The way whatever you see, you don't see. You say all that is here. When I say Ishvara, you say I don't see. I see world. I don't see Ishvara. Therefore I don't believe, etc. I don't take it as Ishvara. Your grandfather, great-grandfather exist or not? You say they existed, means you must have seen. Will you believe that? Swamiji, but I believe that they existed. If it is a belief, then definitely it is a subject to correction. Any belief is a subject to correction. Yeah. So if, great-grandfather existed is a belief, because you have not seen. So means you say, I have to believe that they existed. If it is a belief, then will definitely, it's a subject to correction. And what is the correction? They did not exist. There is no third option. They existed is a belief. Then what is a correction? Belief means is subject to correction. What is then what is the corrected version? They did not exist. Is there a third option? Can you say? Is there a third option? They did not exist. And if you say great-grandfather did not exist, is it a truth? The very fact that I exist itself is a proof for their existence. Of great-grandfather, great-grandmother, the cause, etc. of me. Same way you don't see your brain. And therefore you say, will you say I don't have a brain? Or you will say that, Swamiji, I have a brain, I believe. Will you say that? No. You may say, occasionally I feel that my brain exists. That's a different issue. Because I think of occasionally, and therefore you may say. So certain thing you don't see, therefore it doesn't exist. That's not a contention. That kind of a thing is not true. In fact, my great-grandfather, great-grandmother existed is not a belief, it's a understanding, it's a knowledge. The proof for that is me, right? So same way, the cause of this world, great-grandfather, grandmother, the cause of this world exists also is not a matter of belief. It is to be understood. The very fact, I am the effect of my great-grandfather. When I exist, they exist, the cause exists. Same way here also, the very fact basically is never away from the cause, and therefore the material cause. And Ishvara being the material cause and the efficient cause, definitely where the material is, there the cause is. Where the effect is, there the material is. and Ishvara being the material cause also is right there. Now we have to understand how. How? So basically, you take a shirt. This shirt is, it's a fact, is not away from the cause called fabric. Even a number 2, which is formed by two things, 1 plus 1, 2. That 2 is never away from the 1, the cause. 2 is a fact. Yeah. So the creation, Srishti, the Jagat Val is intelligently put together, like our own creation, human creation called microphone, etc., is intelligently put together. Please understand this. This is a very serious thing. Intelligently put together, table intelligently put together, human creation. Same way this creation, Jagat also is intelligently put together. And why it is, we are saying intelligently put together, not just put together. Like a shirt, suppose. Let us take that example. Shirt, Swamiji, is nothing but, you know, the fabric, you cut it and stitch it. That's what it is, Swamiji. There's nothing else. No. Cut and stitched intelligently. Otherwise, you will make the sleeves, you know, sleeves. And after making the sleeves, you stitch here itself. Close this end. That will never happen, because you know basically that this should be kept open. Otherwise, the hand cannot go. So it is cut and stitch, etc., intelligently. That's very true. So, well, anything that is created to serve a purpose is intelligently put together, intelligently made, and that reveals that it presupposes a knowledge. Anything which is intelligently put together presupposes knowledge. Right? And well, and apply this Vyapti now to this birth of the child. A body which is intelligently put together presupposes knowledge. Knowledge of whom? So, knowledge of father and mother. Knowledge of father and mother give rise to the body. Means, do you think the mother has a knowledge of how to make the eyes? Or father has a knowledge of how to make the kidneys? Or there should be a spare kidney, etc. also father was knowing and then he made it? No. They themselves got the body, right? Well, therefore, this knowledge of a body, of a baby, is not with the parents. Then grandparents, Swami. The grandparents themselves have a body. So, this body which is serving a very good purpose, which is intelligently put together, there is no doubt about it. Go and ask to any doctor. Which is intelligently put together, which is serving a purpose, definitely presupposes knowledge. Knowledge of whom and where it is lying. That's where the issue. Knowledge of whom? Naturally, knowledge of some all-knowing Ishvara. Naturally. Knowledge of some who is omniscient. And definitely, you must be where the knowledge is, there it's, I mean, where the body is, there itself the knowledge is. Body is made from what? Body is made from stem cells, Swamiji. Stem cells has the knowledge. If you ask, well, if you ask to a doctor, they will tell you, stem cells are nothing but a bunch of cells. They themselves divides into liver, etc. Cell of liver and cell of brain and everything. So the knowledge must be lying in the stem cell itself. If you analyze further, the stem cell has the knowledge in that form. If you analyze stem cell, well, you find a genes, right? Gene has knowledge. If you go further, all the way it is knowledge. All the way it is knowledge. Gene means what? Knowledge. You go and ask in departments, university departments. My God, genetics and genetic engineering and what not they are saying. So stem cell, a form, has the knowledge. Well, if you analyze further, well, genes, knowledge, genes as a knowledge. When you analyze further, molecules, amino acids, etc., we say. I think you know all this, so I'm just saying. So gene has a lot of chain of amino acids. Amino acids, molecules. Molecules has knowledge. Molecules, if you further analyze, you find atoms. All forms, please understand. All the varieties of the forms for which you give a name, atom, molecule, gene, etc. That form has knowledge. And then particles, ultimately. All the way it is knowledge. Knowledge of making the body is not coming down from some heaven. It's right there. It's right there. But Swamiji, where the consciousness is, where the knowledge is, there the consciousness is. Knowledge can never be independent of consciousness. In knowledge there is consciousness. Any knowledge cannot be away from consciousness. Pot knowledge, we call it as a pot consciousness. Right? A name and form pot plus consciousness is called pot knowledge. So the all-knowing conscious being, the Ishvara, was knowledge manifest in forms. In form of particles, atoms, molecules. Please understand this. Atoms, molecules, genes, all intelligently put together. Please understand. Intelligently put together. Yeah. Anything intelligently put together involves a conscious being whose knowledge alone manifest. We give different names, that's fine. One form, gene. We have given name gene, but that is intelligently put together. That's knowledge. Ishvara's knowledge. So what you call Jagat, various names and forms, which is nothing but a manifestation of all-knowing Ishvara. The very material cause for the world, various forms. The material for various forms is nothing but this knowledge. The knowledge rests in a conscious being, all-knowing conscious being, who alone manifests in the form of this Jagat. So where the creation, I will be explaining you further, Swamiji, we are not happy. I will be explaining you, don't worry. So where the creation is, there the knowledge is. That's called Ishvara. And perhaps hurriedly let me give you example so that at least you can start comparing. Whole your world, the dream world, is nothing but your knowledge. You, the conscious being, well, with your so-called knowledge, make the dream world. You are the maker. You are the material. Every form in a dream world is your knowledge. You see some person, is your knowledge. Right? You are the maker as a conscious being, and your knowledge is a material. So you pervade the entire dream world. Where the dream space is, that's where you are. Where the dream time, that's where you are. In fact, your manifestation, your knowledge manifestation, that's very material. Just for your, because that's where you will be able to relate it. That's how I'm giving you this example little hurriedly, whether it's coming a little late, but just to appreciate it, what I'm saying. Anyway, so what is Ishvara now? You can understand. What is Ishvara? All the forms, well, it's nothing but Ishvara's knowledge. Ishvara's, who is a material cause alone, manifesting these forms. So very fact is only a form and a name, of course, and the form, of course, we call it as a name, we call it as a word, form we call it as a meaning, like the word pot, and the form pot form, that's its meaning. And that's how we are able to define something as a pot, something as a a jar. Like, in case of even though material is one, like fabric, something you call is a shirt. So this you will not call this as a shirt. This is a form. You will not call it as a shirt, because you know what is shirt. You know what is sherwani, jabba. You know what is pajama. You know what is dhoti. You know. So every form is associated with what? Knowledge. You define. So even if I tell you, Swamiji, all of you, I will tell you that this is a shirt. Swamiji, what are you saying? This is called a jibba. Means a form is known to you. The knowledge is associated with it. You have defined it. So that is how basically every form is a knowledge. Anyway, so let's now, and where the knowledge is, there the consciousness is. I'm not going, it's one more step. I'm not going to consciousness, I'm stopping at this level. So let us stop at this level of knowledge, but all the way, the space, time, all forms, everything is just knowledge. And now come to this physical body again. A physical body, knowledge. Intelligently put together, knowledge. And a physical law by which this is working, I will explain you what is this physical law, etc., is also knowledge. A biological organism, knowledge, etc. And a law of cell biology, everything is basically Ishvara's manifestation, Ishvara's knowledge manifest. So what is Jagat is all knowledge alone manifest in the form of this Jagat, including this body. In fact, body is a word, and its meaning, this we call, which is intelligently put together. Frankly speaking, there is no body. You reduce the body, then you will not use the body henceforth. If I reduce this body, don't physically, but you reduce the body into parts, you will say it's a limb, maybe a brain, maybe a spinal cord, etc. So you will not call it as a body, hence. Otherwise, suppose if you remove my leg, just if you remove amputated leg, right? That amputated leg, you will call it as amputated leg, you will not call it body. Otherwise, I can marry to a amputated leg also. I'm married to a body, instead I can be married. You can understand how, what a mithya. You call body, once you analyze, the word body itself disappears. You use it in transaction, what is intelligently put together, these limbs which are intelligently put together, you call body. If you just analyze it, here itself, it's gone. So any limb, you don't call it as a body. A pair of eyes, you don't call body. Pair of eyes is available in the eye bank. If I don't find a proper spouse, I can marry to eye bank. Swamiji, that's also a body. It's not a body. You are not understanding, Swami. All this you should put together. Bring from anatomy department. Bring from anatomy department all these things, brain and this and legs and hands, and pile it. Will you call body? Please tell me. No. Even though it's a pile put together, it's not body. Only one thing by which you call body is a body. Intelligently put together. Therefore, body is what? Knowledge. Somebody, yes, correct. Ishvara has put together intelligently. So from somewhere he imported, from China he imported brain, from this he imported legs and everything, and then intelligently put together. Like, we do assembly. The very brain is intelligently put together. Right? Very brain is intelligently put together. Cells and neurons, etc., intelligently put together. A pile of cells and neurons is not a brain. Intelligently put together. Understand now, every form is a knowledge. Ishvara's knowledge. Oh, sorry, but then cells he must have imported. The very cell is intelligently put together. You know, there are components of the cell which are intelligently put together, cell nucleus, etc., and cell wall, and in between, all intelligently put together. You understand, I don't know cell biology, but you go, then they will say the cell is also intelligently put together. So another form, cell, intelligently put together, knowledge. So all the way Ishvara's knowledge, molecules, and I'm not going, all the way this body is nothing but, this form is nothing but Ishvara's knowledge. Everything is intelligently put together. So so-called Jagat, which is nothing but names and forms, is nothing but Ishvara's knowledge. Ishvara alone is the material cause. His knowledge is the material cause. He alone, in the form of this knowledge, manifest in the form of this Jagat. Right? Of course, names we give naturally because we want to transact. One form transact with another form. Then there should be name. Otherwise, that one calls this called that. You will have to say pronoun. So use the proper nouns. Oh, Swami called. Swami Muktatmanda called somebody else. Some name. So for transaction purpose, you name them. That's that. But every form, the material for every form is just knowledge. Knowledge of all-knowing Ishvara. That is why you go more and more, you find specialization. Just physician for the body is one thing. But then you just go inside, you have a specialty now. Kidney specialist and heart specialist and this. Further also in that there are specialists. So it reveals that how much knowledge it is. Still we are not complete with the understanding of the body. It's going on. You can understand, so this is the Ishvara's manifestation. Every form is Ishvara's manifestation in form of knowledge. That is the material. And he being a conscious being, he is a maker also. So he is the maker and material. The whole world is Ishvara. Am I right? Whole world is Ishvara. Swamiji, but we are not thorough with that. That takes time. Yeah, a physics professor teaches, E is equal to mc square. This energy is nothing but a matter, and matter is energy, etc. Perhaps even if I am a MSc student, MSc physics, it may take some time perhaps to understand it. But there is nothing to believe here. There is nothing to believe here. The whole creation is Ishvara, is also equation. The energy is matter, is equation. Same way this creation is Ishvara, is also equation. I cannot tell to a physics professor, well, I don't understand what you say, but I am very faithful to you, and so whatever you are writing and telling me, I am believing it. He says, better not believe me. Right? That's an insult to the physics professor, by the way. Yeah. He will emphasize that you better understand, don't believe. Ishvara is a matter of understanding, not a matter of belief. All that you experience here, all that is there, which you experience is known and unknown, is Ishvara. This is what it is. Means definitely with this, the Ishvara is pervading everything. Your mind, Ishvara. Your body, Ishvara's knowledge, Ishvara. Everything, your senses, your prana, everything is Ishvara. You are totally pervaded by the Ishvara, which we call order. I will explain you that. So basically this created object being what it is, so Ishvara is in the form of this physical universe, physical order, biological order, living organisms, psychological order. There is epistemological order also, I will explain you. And most critical part for our discussion is a psychological order, because there we are discussing emotions, especially fear. So all this is a manifestation of ultimately Ishvara. So when I look at everything in this Jagat, which is given of course, and is intelligently put together, presupposing a knowledge, then assimilation of the concept that this knowledge definitely rests in a conscious being. No knowledge we have found in an inert thing. Knowledge always rests in a conscious being. Therefore, will this all knowledge, definitely reveals that it rests in a conscious being called Ishvara, who is all knowledge. So that is possible for us to know. So now I won't say further that there is someone called Ishvara somewhere located in some heaven, etc. Person may start with that, of course, but I grow in my understanding, and I say that Ishvara is both basically the material cause and the intelligent cause, and all that is here is non-separate from the Ishvara. That's of course a challenge to understand this, but there is nothing to believe here. Anyway, and so my understanding of Ishvara, well, definitely, then once you start understanding, then your understanding of Ishvara becomes more intimate, and well, I can keep moving more and more intimately towards Ishvara, because ultimately the distance between you and Ishvara is in terms of ignorance. More you understand, more you gather knowledge of Ishvara, which is pervaded like this in form of a body and etc., your ignorance goes away. The distance between you and Ishvara also slowly reduces. More you are in harmony with the Ishvara, more joy, more healthy in terms of your emotions, etc. All this will be there. So assimilating of Ishvara, I would, before I go into that orders, I would like to say assimilating of this vision of Ishvara is not difficult, but at the same time it is not easy also. Well, but we have to do it, well, in an intelligent manner. Ishvara was manifest intelligently in form of the order, in form of laws, principles, in form of various things which are functioning, intelligently functioning, the whole thing. You have to understand, assimilate this vision of Ishvara by separating various orders. And the very first, you appreciate Ishvara in form of physical universe. Physical universe is easy to, like our physical body and physical objects. So that is how every pursuit of knowledge basically is an enthralling experience, because one is in touch with Ishvara's knowledge, Ishvara's mind. Yeah, it's Ishvara's mind. That's why, that is how any discovery, whenever anyone discovers, especially scientist discovers something, well, definitely he falls in harmony with the Ishvara. So he starts saying, Eureka, Eureka, Eureka. Yeah, Archimedes, you must have heard. He does a discovery, well, then definitely he came to know. In some physical law, which is a manifestation of Ishvara ultimately, his knowledge alone has manifested, and you have removed the ignorance and have come in contact with Ishvara's mind directly. And that's how any knowledge, when you, any discipline, any principle, when you understand, either in a biology, chemistry, physics, anywhere, in psychology, anywhere you understand any principle, any law, well, this is part of the manifestation, you definitely get a joy, because you are in, and that's a joy which is not a sense pleasure. Yeah, it's not a sense pleasure. Whenever you fall in harmony with the Ishvara, you have a joy. That's for sure. Yeah, and this is also a joy called Vidyananda. Yeah, more lasting, subtle joy, more aesthetic, yeah, compared to the sense pleasure. So anyway, so on understanding or knowing any principle, any knowledge, any discipline of knowledge, well, you are in harmony with the Ishvara, all-knowing conscious being. You are in harmony with that. You, the individual, is a simple conscious being coming in harmony with that, and that is giving you joy. Anyway, so Jagat is definitely a manifestation of knowledge, and that's why it is available for knowledge. Every object is available for knowledge. That's how all universities are teaching, various faculties, they are all teaching the part of the Jagat. So available this, and it is available for all equations. All science has proven all these things. Anyway, so the very first manifestation of Ishvara is this physical universe, wherein there are various principles, law of gravitation and so many other laws, and our own physical body, etc. Well, this is a manifestation of Ishvara. We call it as a physical order. See, order means basically that is how a given physical object functions. That's it. A physical body functions in a certain way. Another physical object functions in a certain way. There is a principle, right? It's called order. There is a cause-effect relationship. There is a, well, connection between action-reaction. There is a connection between means and end. All this All this is a part of this universe, and nothing is man-made law. No law, no principle is man-made law. Our taxation law, law for administration, law for traffic, that's a different thing. I'm talking about these laws, which is a manifestation of Ishvara in form of this universe. So we call it as a physical order. The very first manifestation of Ishvara is a physical order, physical universe, basically. Besides this inert object, there are certain life forms, right? There are life forms on this planet. Well, definitely there is a life, and there can be a life in other, in the universe somewhere else also, we don't know. We have a solar family called Sun, and this family, same way there are stars in our own Milky Way. There are so many stars. Each star is a sun and has its own family. Somewhere in some planet, in other solar families also, there can be a life. And we understand the life the way we understand here. We know for sure, scientists know for sure, what applies here in terms of all laws in a life form applies there. Right? Same law applies. That shows a manifestation is a universal manifestation. All the laws are universal manifestation. That is how we call it as a Ishvara. Anyway, so this is called a biological order. What you study in a biology is Ishvara's mind. What you study in physics is Ishvara's mind. Right? And if you understand it, well, the ignorance goes away and you are in direct contact with Ishvara's mind. Gives you joy. Any knowledge, even solving a puzzle, I tell you, just solving a puzzle gives you joy. We have never understood why it gives me joy. Joy should be always a sense organ should contact a sense object, then only the joy should come. We never understood that how, when I gain knowledge, why there is a joy. We never understood, but this is what it is. You are in direct contact, because the distance between you and Ishvara is just ignorance. So any time a fraction of ignorance also goes away. Ultimately there is a self-ignorance, but I'm not going in that. Where you will understand you are Ananda, that's a different thing altogether. But here itself, when you are an individual conscious being and understanding this Ishvara in form of these orders, gain knowledge, a part of the, the avarana, etc., the ignorance just goes away, and you are in harmony with the Ishvara. That gives you a joy. So this is how these two orders I have discussed. Further orders I will discuss after a gap of 15 minutes. And how it helps also ultimately to resolve our emotional issue. That's I will talk to you in the next class. Yeah.
So 15 minutes break?
Yes. Hari Om.
And my name is Raj Velpuri. And I will be taking you to my home.
Okay. After the class.
Over Chandra also. So it's about 45 minutes from my home.
45 minutes from here.
Yes. So that is
Okay.
then after lunch, my wife and daughter will spend some time, and then I will talk to back.
No problem. No problem.
Volume was fine yesterday.
Okay. Yeah.
Let's
Yeah.
close this off. It's coming on through here.
Hello, hello.
Should not be this loud. This big.
Hello. Hello.
Okay, so that's still not coming through.
You want to turn this off completely? Can't
Is
see if
microphone
it's coming.
plugged in?
Huh?
Just into the microphone.
Hello, hello.
It was a little loose.
Hello.
Yeah, check that one. That's what I was.
Stick. I'm gonna adjust there.
You want me to check this one?
Hello? Hello? Is this better? Yeah. Butterfly, can you hear it better? Is this better?
What happened?
That's not gonna solve the problem. So what we're gonna do is we're trying to see if we can just switch this to number 2. Try now.
Hello? Yeah,
See?
it's much better.
Yeah. So
You gotta
now,
reduce the volume on it.
yeah. So it basically it means that this one something weird happened here.
With one?
Something happened here. Let's see. I switched it around. Now this might be weaker. Yeah, see, there is something weird about that. Port.
Okay.
Okay,
I
let's
think we
see.
can actually reduce the volume in there.
Yeah, I can.
Just leave it then. Right?
I'm gonna make this number 3 just for the heck of it and see. Number 4. Okay. Or we could put it here.
Yeah, put it on there.
Now try this. Try that one.
Hello? Yeah, it's much better. Hello? 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 Can you hear me okay? Is that okay? Okay.
That's what is going throughout.
I didn't want to move it around. It is max. Just on the background music. Is it okay if you do a satsang or something tomorrow after tomorrow we can ask people to ask questions or something?
Yes.
Last
Yeah,
half hour.
Yeah.
Maybe in the second session tomorrow.
Yeah,
We'll make that
definitely. Yes.
announcement.
You can collect the questions. Or,
Yeah. We have the cards and we can do
Oh, I see.
Okay.
No problem.
Thanks.
ॐ विश्वं दर्पणदृश्यमाननगरी तुल्यन्निजान्तर्गतं पश्यन्नात्मनि मायया बहिर्भूतं यथा निद्रया यस्साक्षात् कुरुते प्रबोधसमये स्वात्मानमेवाद्वयं तस्मै श्रीगुरुमूर्तये नमः। श्रीदक्षिणामूर्तये बीजस्यान्तरिमाङ्कुरो जगदिदं प्राङ्निर्विकल्पं पुनः मायाकल्पितदेशकालकलना वैचित्रचित्रीकृतम् मायावीव विजृम्भयत्यपि महायोगी वयस्वेच्छया तस्मै श्रीगुरुमूर्तये नमः। श्रीदक्षिणामूर्तये तस्मै श्रीगुरुमूर्तये नमः। श्रीदक्षिणामूर्तये। ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यङ्करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्। ॐ So we are in a process of proving a equation. All that is here, which you experience as unknown or known. Whatever is there, what you know of the world is very little. In a one given thing also we don't know. After 4 questions we have to start doing this, I don't know. That creation is manifestation, all the forms basically a manifestation of Ishvara's knowledge, and definitely reveals that Ishvara is all-knowing, naturally. Very, very clear. From the creation itself, anywhere you dip into, you start analyzing, you find it is more and more ignorance as though reveals. That's how people, the scientists are very humble people. Very humble. Because they know what they don't know is much more than what they know. Really. A true scientist is a very humble person. That shows that that particular form is a manifestation of Ishvara's knowledge, all-knowing Ishvara. So with respect to this manifestation, with respect to this Jagat, we call Ishvara as a Sarvajna. With respect to this creation, which is all forces, we call Ishvara as omnipotent, Sarvashakti. But Swami, this is some different order. We have learned this, the Brahman plus Maya, that becomes the Ishvara, that is the cause of the creation. That's what it is. All the names and forms in an unmanifest condition, along with this Brahman, becomes the cause. That alone manifest. All names and forms have not come from any non-existence. They are all manifest from the unmanifest. As unmanifest we call Maya. That's it. Nothing else. So along with that unmanifest, all your knowledge, right, which was there in you, a conscious being, which was unmanifest, manifest as dream world. That's it. You are the cause with your all unmanifest names and forms. They alone manifest. So nothing, I'm not going in that direction because it's a different way we are looking at it. The Ishvara, here basically we are looking Ishvara as a therapist. A very good therapist who is the therapist who can take care of my psychological being. Several issues are there. Most of the issues have this basis. Swamiji, I respond in a situation and then definitely I feel that I should not have responded. Most of our responses to the world in a relationship are basically reactions rather than an action. All reactions. Most of our responses are mechanical. That reveals that something in me is there which is not under my control. And that's called unconscious. Right? That's called unconscious. And well, we are in the process of definitely taking care of that with the help of Ishvara, and how you are pervaded by Ishvara. Pervaded by order. If you are pervaded by order, you are in order. Oh, but I am very angry. That's okay. Means what? With my anger I should victimize someone? No. What should I do? That I will be telling you. That's a two-step response. So, generally we have a one-step response. I respond in terms of anger to the world. I respond in terms of fear to the world. I respond in terms of jealousy to the world. I respond in terms of the sadness to the world. Right? I respond in terms of the greed. I respond with, in the sense of competition with the world. That's a one-step response. No. Become a devotee and respond. That's what it is. Noting there is a Ishvara who is pervading you in your psychology, you will be seeing that. And therefore, that is Ishvara is in form of laws. And no law will fail. That's how it's called order. That's how another name of Ishvara is infallible. What is infallible is Ishvara. Means he never fails. Never fails. Therefore you can trust totally. Right? Which never fails you can trust. And therefore if that order is pervading me, my mind, my senses, everywhere. And one of the order now we are seeing is a physiological order. Physiological order. So physical order, physical bodies, physical objects. In that some of them are inert, some are living beings, biological order. And now in the living beings there is another intelligent manifestation, and that is prana. Right? All of the physiology. Prana, apana, respiration, digestion, circulation, everything, ejection. The prana is also intelligent manifestation. No one can deny it. Anyway, so we call the function of the prana well, which governs our health, ill health. All this is physiological order, physiological manifestation, which we study in the branch of physiology. Physiology reveals varieties of the principles, laws, order, basically. And it pervades every living being. That's how one of the namings in Vedanta we have for the prana, Samashti prana, as a sutratma. You must have heard. Like a thread, passes through all the beads, right? Keeping all the beads together as a garland. Same way all the living beings are connected by prana, right? You have a respiration, digestion, everything. I also have. And that's how we even worship also. In form of a prana, we worship Ishvara. Pranaya swaha, apanaya swaha, jnanaya swaha, udanaya swaha, samanaya swaha. Then lastly, Brahmane. That is not our Nirguna, so-called Nirguna Brahma. That Brahmane means Hiranyagarbha, the Samashti, who is in the form of a Samashti, who connects every living being. Anything which is manifestation, universal manifestation, is Ishvara, total. Very intelligent manifestation. So I am pervaded. I, the conscious being, is pervaded by prana. So we feel that, well, I should realize Ishvara is right here, pervading you, sustaining you, nourishing you, right here. Anyway, so this is a physiological order covering every plant, tree, etc. that photosynthesizes and prepares a food for us, etc. It's called plant physiology. And because of this physiological order, only all the discovery of medicines are possible. They make a molecule, they discover a certain molecule, drug, and they first taste it on a guinea pigs, rats. And from rats they jump to human beings. It may not sound good that I have equated with the rat, but basically from rat, scientists get so much confidence. Once it works on rat, they feel it is going to work here. Why? The same laws apply. Right? Same laws. But they test on monkey also for to be better, sure. Once it it works on monkey, they become so sure. Immediately they will start, they call clinical trials. Yeah. 4-phase clinical trials they start doing. They call a few people and they administer the drug with so much confidence. What the physiology of the monkey, physiology of the rat, physiology of the guinea pig is the physiology of the human being. Amazing manifestation. That's how I say one prana pervades everywhere. So basically, study of a physiology, study of a medicine is a study of Ishvara. That's how Ishvara is called Vaidya, Vaidyo Narayano Harihi. Ishvara is a physician. When you study medicine, you are studying Ishvara. Amazing way, how much it is pervading. It's full. Vedanta has to give to the humanity a vision. This is a vision, this is not philosophy. Vision of the reality. What you experience, if you analyze with the help in the light of Vedanta, you discover something very profound. Right? So this is how it is. So it's a physiological order. And very critical order is psychological order. So there is also a psychological order. And a dog has a certain faithfulness. Dog means faithful. Psychology. So basically, all animals have their own psychology. Each member of a species behaves in a same manner, more or less. Why somebody more or less? You said it is infallible, therefore it may be sometime exception. No. In our understanding of the order, in our understanding of principle, we may be lacking. Once you improve your understanding, then you find, well, it's within order. Please understand this. Sometimes you feel, especially in the field of science, you feel, Swamiji, that law was proven wrong now. You said law is infallible, Ishvara, but that's proven wrong. Our understanding of the law has been improved. Yeah. I will be talking to you. So, there is a psychological order. That is why one can tame a lion, one can tame an elephant. I recently saw a YouTube video, by the way, not India, live, that one, I think, Muslim person in Pakistan has several tigers and lions, all tamed. So you can tame a lion, you can tame an elephant, you can tame any animal. Why? You know something which is common. So you tap Ishvara in form of those laws, psychology. Now come to the human being psychological order. We are very anxious. We have prone to fear, anger, and so on. And nothing is without causes. Nothing is without causes. So when somebody is angry, we cannot tell that person not to be angry. It's a wrong thing to say. As if the person and the anger is in the hand of the person. The way we say, you should not be angry, means it's in your hand not to be angry. Never. Anger happens. You can never be deliberately angry. You can never be deliberately fearful. Never. Let me have some fear for half a minute. You cannot. Whatever you try. Let me be angry for half a minute. You cannot. Then don't think I am an angel. If I cannot get angry right away, even if with my volition, don't think I am free from anger. Anger happens. All this happens. It's like if I tell you to clap, you are free to clap. You are free to clap. Once you are free to clap. 2 times you need not clap. You clap it after everybody clapped. That clapping is over, you clap. Everything is in your hand. But any emotion is not in your hand. Especially this reactions, anger, etc. is not in your hand. If I tell you to be angry, well, let me be angry for half a minute, let me be angry for 5 minutes, let me be angry after 10 minutes. Nothing. You cannot, it's not in your hand. So, well, basically, so it just happens. So, you are responsible for your action. You can tell the person not to act in anger. That you can definitely. And that's how some people are very wise. When they get angry, they leave the place. That's a wise thing to do. Being there, you do something which is more reaction, which is not even beyond which is not in your hand. So that I can tell you, that you should not act anything in anger. But I cannot tell you not to be angry. I should not tell you to get angry. I should not tell you not to be angry also. Yes, it's not in your hand. So there are reasons for getting angry. But what are the reasons? Psychology. Psychology is a branch where that helps you in knowing the reasons. Is a very, very important branch, psychology. Half of the Bhagavad Gita is psychology. If you remove this, all emotions, kama, krodha, raga, dvesha, etc., if you remove, then Gita would be simply few pages. Then Swamiji, Bhagavad Gita is a psychology. No, we branch out from psychology, bringing Ishvara into everything and validate our emotion, which psychologists will never do. That's where we differ. All emotions, we are bringing as an order here, validates it. We find there are reasons, there are principles which govern all our emotions. It may be a fear. Fear has a reason. Anger has a reason. The sadness has a reason. Nothing is without reason. So there is a cause-effect relationship, which is Ishvara. Yeah. Human mind will be angry if this thing is there. It's a law. Whether it is you, me, anybody. Manifestation, universal manifestation, very critical manifestation. That is where a human being has to take care. Especially our seekers, they always feel, oh, Swamiji, I'm getting angry, I'm this, I'm that. There's so much of self-loath. Having a lot of self-loath and self-disrespect, self-rejection, self-non-acceptance, how that person is going to understand, I'm the cause of the world. How you are going to understand it? It's impossible to understand. The very self-loath is an obstacle. Because this Vedanta, as you open the book, they say the self is Brahman. You say, I am very angry and I'm that. So you have to validate emotions. All these are cause-effect relationship. It works on certain principles. A human being has not made a law that these things happen means this is the anger will happen. That's there. That's what we study in psychology. When a psychologist study, they don't study a muktatma. They study a human being. We call it human psychology. Means common principle. Right? Universal manifestation. Understand once it goes more than a person, then another conscious being is involved, and that is Ishvara. And you have to validate it. I will show you how to validate it. But anyway, this is a process, of course. So one must respect definitely psychology. One must respect emotions, ultimately, because emotions make a human being. No matter how great a person will be, one can make one's life only according to what his or her emotion is. And that is why one may be even a great scientist, but emotionally one may be unstable to the extent that he may commit suicide also. You may feel he's such a wonderful person, very well known, very good brain. I came to know recently when IIM professor, IIM, Indian Institute of Management, very premier institute, and a very senior professor, not lecturer, senior person, senior professor, almost to the level of going to be a director of that. Such a person committed suicide in Ahmedabad. You feel, why? He has a reputation, he has money, everything. So you may be intellectually, maybe so much wise and everything, but what deals in the world is an emotional being. You are your emotion. All your responses never come from your wisdom. It should come, but never come. That's how people blame us, right? If I attend Bhagavad Gita class and get angry in the home, they say, what are you doing? This is what your Swami is teaching you? They say like that. So they become more allergic, in fact, seeing my attitude in the home. We should understand this. I have given you the reason for that, but anyway, so basically one which responds in various situations is this emotional being. But there is reason for every emotion, which is a cause-effect relationship. So basically most of our behavior and responses is based on that unconscious. And that is how it just comes up and you are not even conscious and respond to the world in form of anger, fear, anything. Sometimes even if I tell you this unconscious is a very big thing. We have a word for that in our Sanskrit. It is used in a commando camp, and that's called kashaya. Kashaya is a word for that. So don't feel that Swamiji is talking this unconscious. We know it. It's not that it's totally new. It's called kashaya. And that governs to the extent that the person is sitting, nothing has happened, everything is fine, suddenly starts feeling fearful, suddenly starts crying. There are people who cry for every little thing. Even we wonder that there is nothing. Just, oh Swamiji, you have come after 1 year, starts crying. What happened? I have come, it's a matter of a joy to meet people, but she starts crying. You must have seen this kind of thing. So it's all from unconscious. Person also feels later, oh, I should not have cried. Swami also has to tell me, I should not have cried. It's not in your hand. That's how I say unconscious. Consciously you may not cry. If you are conscious, you will not cry. So suddenly a fear envelops to you, suddenly a crying, suddenly sadness. And you try to find what reason, why I am so sad. You won't find. Because being unconscious, you will never know. You will never know. That's called unconscious. When something is conscious mind, you immediately know. Yeah, it is there in my mind. But this you never know. And people have a fear for this. That's how people sometimes don't want to remain, alone. Because some fear, etc. Something will pop up. We have fear for fear also. We have fear for everything. Yeah. Anyway, so this is what the psychological order, it's a manifestation of Ishvara only. And of course, psychological order includes memory. Memory is also very critical. Memory, of course, along with this other emotions, we can say, psychology. And all responses are based on this memory. So every human being is within that order, and everybody's behavior is within the order, and therefore everybody's behavior is in order. Everybody is okay. To the extent you don't victimize others. You process in such a way that, considering everything is manifestation of Ishvara, and you process, you basically heal the emotions. What comes out when you see Ishvara, that I will talk to you, that's the basis of all emotions that comes out, and that is how you are able to heal it. Okay, I will leave that part. Then we have now you are able to understand these orders, etc., is due to one other order, called cognitive order, because of which you are able to understand all the orders, right? You are able to understand, all of you are able to understand, like a piece of knowledge. A piece of knowledge is valid or not, you are able to decide. That's a cognitive order. You are able to decide, I am able to decide, she is able to decide. Like I will tell you one example, that, definition of a human being. Suppose if I ask you, you say the the one with two legs is a human being. And then you start thinking, is it true or not? Is it true or not? This is as cognitive order. Whether it is logical, valid or not. Logical, valid. Then you understand, hey, this is, Swami is wrong. This definition is wrong. One with the two legs is human being, then crow is also a human being. Right? Crow. Therefore, this definition is not correct. All this process is common. Right? It's called cognitive order. If this is with this order, you are able to understand all psychological order, this order, that order, you are able to understand. You gain knowledge. Every human being is capable of gaining knowledge, understanding it is valid, invalid, all based on this order which is present in every human being. One may utilize, one may not utilize, that's a different thing, but it is present. The possibility is there. Cognitive order. And therefore, one order only is left, which I will be talking at the end, but everything is ultimately one order. Ishvara is this Maha order. But in order to assimilate the vision of Ishvara, we have divided into various orders. Please understand this. And therefore, there is no distance between one order and the other order. Where there is a physical order, there is a biological order also. And while there is no distance between anatomy and physiology, well, there is no distance between a biology, anatomy and psychology. If we go to a hospital attached to some medical college, we'll find that departments are different. Department of Psychology, Department of Medicine, Department of Physiology, etc., Department of Neurology, Anatomy department. Departments are different. Yeah. One person got a stomach pain, and as you know, in America at least they examine a lot. So he complained about a stomach pain, and then he was sent to one particular department. And then from there they say, no, we want to examine further. And so then he was sent to another. Then he was sent to third department. For 1 week, he moved from one department to other department to other department. And after 1 week, he came and told that, well, my pain has gone because of the exercise. Lack of exercise, he was having a stomach pain. Departments are different. But one who goes in various departments, the same fellow. Go to anatomy department, same fellow. Psychology department, same fellow. Neurology department, same fellow. That shows all are here. The neurology is here, the psychology is here, the physiology is here, the anatomy is here. Everything is here. I will tell you, engineering is also here. Electrical engineering, mechanical engineering, everything is here. Amazing thing I tell you is, but in form of order. Two physical objects you want to connect. Well, you use generally a nut bolts, etc. Right? Generally. Well, you connect it with nuts and bolts. Even doctors may found that this physical body is part of physical universe. So what law applies there can be applied here. Therefore, orthopedic people sometimes, the broken bone, they connect it with nuts and bolts. I myself have here. Honestly, I have nuts and bolts here. Amazing it is. One order. So one Ishvara is just one order. Or one principle which never fails. Infallible. Ishvara is infallible. It's a wrong statement. Why? Because if tsunami occurs, you will say, what is infallible is Ishvara. Yeah, that's it. Whenever I give these lectures, always I hear comments. Hey, this is also Ishvara. Like that, they basically do a mockery of the things. The very mockery, etc. also is part of the psychology, manifestation of Ishvara. Okay. If this is so, how far you are away from Ishvara? you are away. So are you away from the physical order? No. Are you away from the psychological order? No. Are you away from the physiological order? No. Are you away from this cognitive order? No. It's all here. If it is all here, Swamiji, I should know. That's the thing. The distance between you and Ishvara is ignorance only. There is no distance. What is Ishvara ultimately? You are all the time connected. You don't know that you are connected. People ask me the question that, well, Swamiji, this, our devotion means there is a surrender. This is surrender. This is called surrender, where I was claiming I am body, I have memory, I am this, I am that, I am hungry, I am thirsty. All that is there is Ishvara. So we say, Tanamana Dhana Sabakucha Tera. What it means? The surrender we say like this, Tanamana Dhana Sabakucha Tera. But every day we do this arpada. We never understood that it is a manifestation of Ishvara. The real devotion is, the real surrender is a surrender in terms of your cognitive change. That whatever is you experience, whatever is there, known, unknown, is Ishvara. You become a devotee. And if you are a devotee, well, definitely you taking into account Ishvara, well, you are able to improve your psychological health. Taking them as a manifestation of Ishvara. So when you are angry, you are not away from Ishvara. You are within Ishvara's psychological order. Ishvara is manifest in the form of psychological order. And when you discover something, well, you are within Ishvara's cognitive order. Even if you are able to understand right now what I am talking, and perhaps with that clarity you may be getting joy, etc. It's all part of cognitive order. Anyway, the last critical order is order of dharma and order of karma. Very important. Because as a human being you are self-conscious, and the self you are conscious of, well, confers upon you, well, a certain freedom. So what you call free will or freedom to choose, well, comes from your own self-consciousness. And when you have such a choice, human being has that choice. So whenever there is a choice, there is a possibility of a wrong choice and a right choice. So every human being has that freedom, free to choose. Therefore, Ishvara has to manifest in you as something called right and something called wrong, so that you can choose all the time what is right. It has to manifest. That's also intelligent manifestation. So one must have certain common norms basically as a basis for one's own choices. And norms must be universal, Ishvara's manifestation. Only then we can say the choices are either right or wrong. Word good and bad, etc. is based on likes and dislikes. So that is all purely, it's one's own judgment. There is nothing good, bad. It's for the person. What is good for you may not be good for me. What is bad for you may not be bad for me. But there is something called right and wrong, which is universal. A right for you is right for me. I will talk to you. What is wrong for you is wrong for me. Then only a common basis to transact. Yeah. So I have to exercise my choice, free will, based on that. I may not be exercising, that's a different issue. We will talk to that. But the Ishvara should manifest in everyone as that common norm. What is right, what is wrong. Everyone should have a knowledge of what is right and wrong without going to universities. Yeah. And everyone has. Everyone knows what is right and what is wrong, etc. Anyway, so we should have the knowledge of what is proper, improper, what is dharma, we call. Anyway, and so we have to relate to the people, to animals, to the plants, trees, stars, everywhere. Relating to only we are living, unrelated we are not living. Unrelated we may be alive, like in coma, like in deep sleep state. But definitely, well, we live a life relating, and in that we definitely make choices. We have to respond. Responses can be right or wrong, and well, should have a common basis. So you will be able to sense what is right. I will be able to also sense what is right. And when we both of exercise our free will based on what is right, we are in harmony. Again, there is a joy. In disharmony, there is no joy. Not to hurt you is the right thing. You also know not to hurt me. I should know, I also know, you also know not to hurt you. You also know not to hurt me. And we definitely choose this thing only. Then in our transaction, there is a harmony. It's also manifestation of Ishvara. No one can feel, no one can tell that I'm ignorant of this common norms. Everyone knows. Where the free will is given, there itself this is given. Like on the side. Like the two sides of a coin. One side free will, and the very next side is what to choose. Immediately it comes. But due to pressure of our likes and dislikes, we may ignore it. Because generally what I like is not what is right. Generally. Generally what is wrong, which generally I like. What is wrong, I like. And what is right, I don't like. Doing exercise is the right thing. Suppose, simple thing I am telling you. Getting up early in the morning and do prayers is the right thing. Wonderful. Is the right thing. But I don't like to get up early. No, no way. Eating sweets too much is not right thing, because the sugar is running all along in the body. But what I like is to eat sweets. This is a conflict. This is the issue. Any conflict is a root for stress, anxiety, or pressure. You fulfill likes and dislikes, but you basically, it's a bargain. It's a very big bargain, bad bargain. This person who knows what is right and wrong but cannot conform to that, in his own eyes, he is falling. That's what is happening. When you don't get up, you know it's a good thing to get up early in the morning and do. But when you don't get up, shut off the alarm clock. And when you get up at 7 o'clock, what feeling do you have? Very wonderful feeling? Really self-acceptance? No. In your own eyes, you fall down. Self-non-acceptance. Because you know what is right, what is wrong. You have value for it also, but you are not able to cope up to the value which you have. What I value for, if I am not able to cope up, I will fall in my own eyes. It's a very bad bargain. Very bad bargain. There are other things I'm not going in, but there is, what I want to say is it's a common, we call common sense. Everyone senses, every human being senses what is right, what is wrong. Everyone knows. Including mafia knows, Don also knows what is right, what is wrong. He roams everywhere, but he wants that no one should roam him. Anyway, so every living organism wants to survive, nobody wants to get hurt. Nobody wants to be an object of another's deception. Nobody wants to be lied to. Nobody wants to be robbed. Nobody wants one's own weak situations to be exploited, to be taken advantage of by others. So I do not want this, and I know others also don't want. I also equally know that others also do not want it. Everybody wants to be free from being a victim of somebody's harmful action. So this is, we call, well, that's how, this lesson in schools, the lesson of this moral order, etc. This moral lessons, they call it. We have we used to have in our school in Ahmedabad, a moral lesson class. it's a disaster actually. Because everyone knows, oh, you should not tell lie, you should not cheat others, etc. It's a disaster. You need not teach this. Yeah, you have to teach what is it that you lose when you tell a lie. That is to be taught. You should not tell lie, nothing, you should not tell that. But what is it that you lose when you go against this right and wrong? That you don't know. The value of a value, you don't know. Dharma is something which you value. Non-hurting you value. Accommodation you value. Everything you value. But the value of value I don't know. So value education basically means not teaching this kind of thing. Beta, you should not speak lie, you should not do this. No. What a child will lose if he goes against the value, that is to be taught. Anyway, so this dharma we commonly sense and we have wonderful. Swami, how can you say it is a manifestation of Ishvara? Lord Rama is a manifestation of dharma. Embodiment, we call it embodiment of dharma. Krishna embodiment of love, and he is a straight. Dharma means all the straight. Rama is all the time straight. And our Krishna is all Tribhangi. Manifestation of love. Ananda. It's also Ananda, Ishvara Ananda. Anyway, so this is the order of this common norms, is we call order of dharma. And animals do not have this naturally because they don't have free will. Therefore, they need not exercise. But sometimes animals also like that they should not be hurt. Naturally, they don't like. So let's call they have a one-sided dharma. They don't know they should not hurt others. That freedom they don't have because they are programmed. But at least they know. Animals know that they should not be hurt. So one-sided, 50% dharma they have. That's not dharma. I asked to one person, and well, he came. He was very happy. So I said, what is the reason for that? He said, I am going to marry a so-and-so actress. I said, oh, wonderful. I said, how? When did you meet her? And how did you propose and all this? He said, I haven't met. So I said, did you call her? So he said, well, no. I haven't called. Then I said, will you send email or something? No, I haven't done anything. Then how can you say, well, that you are going to marry? So he said, it is a 50% marriage. I have decided to marry her. Because you say marriage means, it's between two people. So I have decided, she will decide later. I have decided. No. So if an animal, etc., don't have this sense of not being hurt, to be hurt, getting hurt, etc., well, they have a 50% dharma. No. They are totally programmed. There is no ethical cow and unethical cow. Somebody is ethical. See, what a thing. It all the time gives, shares the milk and everything. No. There is no unethical tiger or ethical tiger. There is no ethical cow or unethical cow. Dharma dharmabhyam vimuktaha pashuhu. That's the definition. Pashuhu, the animal who is vimuktaha, free from dharma. There is no choice. They are programmed. They are programmed to participate in this creation, and they participate. Human being may not participate. That's how we have aim for Seva and we are waiting. We are waiting people should participate. We have to encourage people. In fact, by common sense, they should participate. Because of the participation of the entire world, I am right now sitting here. My life of 50, 60 years is because of the entire participation of the world. Your one cup of tea needs whole world. One cup of tea. Shall I start that? Really, nothing less than the universe. Nothing less than the universe. One cup of tea. Think about clothes, think about food, air. No bills. Ishvara doesn't send any bills for giving support, for giving air, for giving warmth, fire inside. Right? No bills. Only thing is he keeps doing silently. We have taken it for granted. We should support. I'm talking to this. I just remember that I should tell, we should support. Reaching out, having compassion, sharing, understanding is a mature response. That is what makes a person actually fit for this knowledge, to gain moksha. So anyway, tiger, if it kills deer, still it is not unethical. But if you kill, you are basically answerable to your conscience. That conscience is nothing but this essence of dharma, you can sense it. So like the law of gravitation that we all sense, the law of dharma also we all commonly sense. Dharma is in the head of everybody, and if you go against universal order, definitely you are going to pay a lot. Like, you thought you want to rub this a bark of a margosa or a neem tree, which is very thick, and you thought you want to rub it. You cannot rub the tree or the bark of the tree unless you are getting rubbed in the process. Whether after rubbing 10 times, right, with your shoulder, you look at that tree and you find that nothing has happened, but you will not be able to wear a shirt for at least another 9 days. So the action and reaction are really equal and opposite. So if you go against the law of dharma, the order, universal manifestation, go against Ishvara, it's a heavy loss. What heavy loss? What are you thinking? That is what I say. If you do a right choice, you acquire punya. If you do a wrong choice, you definitely gain papa. Law of karma. Law of dharma, sensing what is right and wrong, and if you have free will, if you don't exercise in keeping with that, there is law of karma also is there, that can take care of the person. If you are in conformity with dharma, then definitely there is a harmony in life, etc. Anyway, so if we understand order like this, that all that you are aware of is ultimately Ishvara, it means you can relax because it is infallible. In the awareness of Ishvara, you can relax like this. You can trust the order. Naturally, it's all law, and that law doesn't have any exception. You may not be able to understand the law completely because of the limitation of your knowledge. You can further discover it, but it is infallible, basically. So we should not say God is infallible. I say infallible order is Ishvara. The difference we should know, I have told you. So Ishvara is in form of this order. Anyway, so we can conform to the order and we can make use of those laws to gain knowledge. We can make use of these laws, for our own purpose in our life. So as an adult, basically, you should have this absolute trust because of the understanding that Ishvara is manifesting the form of this order that is infallible. It is impartial also. Unlike human laws have all partiality. Laws of taxation also, laws of other laws of administration have partiality. Some laws are fine with some people, some laws are not fine with other people. Yeah, but here it is everywhere. Like law of gravitation is same for everyone. Every law which is a manifestation of Ishvara is totally impartial. Why you are saying Swami? So you can trust. You can trust. Yeah. In human law you may not trust. Because it's not sometimes some laws are made for convenience, including in the United States. I don't want to say anything, but some laws are made for convenience of some group, or some laws are not made. And whatever the laws are there, even though it creates a lot of havoc, but still they are allowed to go. Human laws has all this possibility because of raga, dvesha, etc. Ishvara is impartial, totally impartial. So you can trust. You can trust. And it is infallible means which never fails. It's called infallible. Never fails. Because of these two reasons, you can trust. You can trust Ishvara, who is informed of these orders. You can trust Ishvara. The trust which was violated as a child, you can definitely trust it. Now the most crucial thing is how to validate all these things. I'll talk to you in a few minutes and then we can stop. See, what happens is, I told you, I'm going back now to, in the form of orders we have understood, I am pervaded, and therefore if all the laws are pervading me, which all the orders are pervading me, infallible laws are pervading me, definitely therefore I am in order. Whatever my emotions etc. are there, I say my emotion, but it's manifestation of Ishvara, I am okay. With anger, I am okay. With jealousy, I am okay. With everything, I am okay. But with I am okay, when you say before, so giving response to that, depending upon your emotion, before that, well, there is something you should take into account. As I told you, we call it as a two-step response, in which the first step is you appreciate anything which is happening here, or anything which is there as Ishvara, including your anger, etc. And then, well, if you take into account, what immediately arises is not a reaction. What immediately arises is a sympathy. When you appreciate that this anger, which is manifestation of Ishvara, immediately what arises is a sympathy in you. Otherwise, generally we have a one-step response. So anger is in fact a response to the world. Fear is a response to the world. That's a one-step response. This is a two-step response. Puja Swami is very, very well known, and it's really wonderful. And so two-step response means, well, you take into account that this any emotion which is there in me is ultimately because of the unconscious, and that unconscious is part of psychological order. Because of Ishvara alone, well, to save me, well, Ishvara has really, from conscious mind, my pains and everything has been covered, which is unconscious. That is the background of my response to the world. Let me appreciate that background. Very important. Giving response to a person, before that you give a response to the background of the person, which is responsible for the behavior of the person. That gives a space to you, an inner space. So you will not react immediately. Very important. And so it gives you space in all your interactions. So person with whom you interact, well, definitely comes with his or her background. You respond in a situation with your background, and this background you will never know, and you should not know. You will never know, because it's part of unconscious. So why this person is talking like this? Why all the time? I'll tell you the questions which are there in a married couple, which creates a lot of conflict. Why she is blaming me all the time? Why he is not doing what I say to her? Why is, varieties of the things. Or why do I have a fear for some unwanted, for an unknown situation? Sometimes you come to know that tomorrow you are going to some office, etc. Well, you're meeting, and it's a totally unknown environment, and somehow you have fear, right? Some people have that fear of meeting unknown people also. Like that, there are several things. So all these are there from the background, unconscious. So you will never know the background of anybody. You need not know. A therapist let it know. Because the person will say, well, I have this, I have that. And it may come out also in the process. You did not know, but you know that his, her response, his or her behavior, his or her way of talking, living, etc., responding to you, relating to you, has a basis in that unconscious. There is a background. Appreciation of the background, part of the psychological order, or psychological order, which is Ishvara, is a first step response. you immediately won't react to the person. Generally, we react to the person's behavior, not understanding the cause of the behavior. You need not know. You just appreciate that there is a background, which is the cause for the response. If you do that, well, you are saved. You are very much saved. Anyway, so if you recognize the existence of background, then your response is not what is being said, what is being done by the other to you. Yeah. The response is to your own appreciation of the existence of the background. And that knowledge makes you immediately a compassionate person towards the other. If you respond to the behavior, it's a reaction. If you respond to the background, existence of the background, recognizing a background, existence of background, then a different emotion arises. And that's called compassion. If you appreciate your own behavior has a background, let's come to our own thing. That there is a whatever way, that is how people are not able to change. Their way of talking, their way of behaving, they are not able to change. Because it's not in their hands. You may not be able to know what is unconscious. You need not, because being unconscious. But it comes from that. It comes forth from that. Maybe your conscious mind tells that, well, I should not talk like this. I should not behave like this. I should not eat like this. I should not do like this. Everything. But you will see, in a giving response to the word, you again go back to the same thing. And if you try to find out, you won't be able to find out anything. You may say tendencies, this, that, etc. That's it. But yes, there is a background, which is psychological order, which is Ishvara. When you understand this much, immediately you will not react to the behavior of the person. A sympathy arises in you and definitely makes you a compassionate person, a simple person. And that compassion begins with you first. It will not come there. I will tell you how to discover compassion also. So compassion basically begins with you. Means you appreciate that your behavior or your own emotions, etc., has a basis in that unconscious. You have a background. Others also have a background. Everyone has a background for their behavior, etc. So, well, definitely, then once you have a compassion for yourself, appreciating or recognizing the existence of this background, then definitely you will have a compassion for others. You can be kind to yourself first, then you can be kind to the others also. So you welcome whatever comes and then you manage your emotions, etc. And this is what Bhagavan said beautifully in the 9th chapter, in the 34th verse, when Bhagavan said, Man Mana Bhava. So Man Mana Bhava means be the one whose mind is in harmony with me. Here mind means emotions basically. So the sense of the Bhagavad Gita can now very well be understood that you be in harmony with me means I have manifested in you as a psychological order. So you welcome the emotions. Well, basically, you don't victimize others. You welcome emotion, appreciating me as the very psychological order in you. And therefore, Ishvara is in the form of psychological order, forming the background of every person, including myself. You can be compassionate when you go one step further, not just to the behavior. To the behavior, you will immediately react. But there is a cause for the behavior which is nothing but Ishvara's psychological order, Ishvara alone. Then a different emotion arises in you, and that is compassion. And that you should begin with yourself first. And how to discover compassion, I will talk to you. So anyway, so by understanding this psychological order, you stay with Ishvara. If you don't appreciate psychological order and thereby you go away from Ishvara, then in the transactions, there is nothing but reactions. Where lots of reactions. That is how I find even in a married couple, they all the time fight. Why you are like this? Why you are like this? Why you are like this? And sometimes they go to the extent to blame their parents also. It's height of the thing. Because you are like that, therefore your parents are also like that, and something like that. Just not appreciating what is there, the root. And that is Ishvara's manifestation is psychological order. The very unconscious is Ishvara. Great blessing of Ishvara that from the conscious mind of the child it has gone to unconscious, covered. That's how he is saved. That's a grace of Ishvara. That alone is the controller of all responses in the world. Your fear, it comes from unconscious. I told you very clearly, you cannot be fearful with your conscious mind, with your deliberation. You cannot be. Your anger comes from unconscious. Consciously you cannot be angry. I just told you. So please understand. Some people ask me something, how do you say everything, these all responses from the unconscious? I said, whatever the emotions are there, try to be consciously, exhibit those emotions. Not a single one. You don't want to be sad, but you happen to be sad. You don't want to be jealous and you happen to be jealous. You don't want to be angry and you happen to be. That is unconscious. That controls. That is called background. That's the background. That is Ishvara's manifestation. So giving a response to the person's behavior, talk, etc., whatever, or habits. Sometimes you don't like someone's habits. And you should know that a habit is a habit which is not in the head. That's how it is a habit. If you ask me, I have a habit of drinking tea. I'm telling you, very fact. And it creates acidity, etc. And a lot of people has advised me, Swamiji, you become advisor to many people. Unnecessarily, you should not advise because you are not able to give up what you one thing. Could you follow? Yeah. And in fact, your will works in initial phase of life. You can change habit. You have a will. Later part, habit governs. Will is nil. Yeah. In old age, it's just a bundle of habits. It's bundle. That's how they fight with the old people, parents, etc. You are not able to change. You are not able to change. But you cannot. Now they cannot. You are like child. You are like this. You are like this. That is the characteristic of an old age where your will has no role to play. You are full of habits because lots of experiences and lots of impression has formed a habit. Gone. In a young age, you can change. Your will is even, has a predominance over your habit, tendencies. But in a later age, tendencies of the habit is stronger. Will is almost nil. Anyway, so what I am saying is, Bhagavan said, be the one whose mind is in harmony. Appreciate me in everyone. He, she, everyone is behaving, talking, habits, all has a basis. Appreciate it as me. Then you are in harmony with me. Your response will be in terms of a sympathy. Very sympathy is a manifestation of Ishvara. In fact, sympathy, etc., also is a very dynamic response of love. Love is the basic emotion. Love means a total acceptance of oneself. Love towards others means a total acceptance of the person. The total acceptance is possible only when I appreciate it as an order. Right? You appreciate it as an order. I am in order. Why? Because order pervades me. Whatever my psychology, whatever the emotions are there, it's all manifestation of Ishvara. Whatever my habits, whatever my hunger, thirst, whatever type of body, everything. Total acceptance. Because ultimately everything is a manifestation of Ishvara. and therefore I am in order. I am okay. That's a sympathy. That's a love for us, a total acceptance. That love alone results into sympathy. But Swamiji, how to discover that? You say everything, but we are not able to discover this sympathy, etc. Well, you have to act as if you are a sympathetic person. That's the only way. That's the only way. You have compassion, sympathy or compassion. So you want to discover a compassion for yourself and for others, and thereby you want to improve the relationship, your responses to the world, which I call it as a goal of the life. Which is a goal of life. Even if you don't understand Atma is Brahman, etc., no problem. Really. As a Vedanta, I am telling you, if you know how to relate to the world, that's it. At least this much. Compassion is a basis. Love is a basis. Love is the emotion, I am telling you. All other are manifestation of love. Understanding is love. And you're reaching out, of course, to others, love. Having compassion also. These are all dynamic forms of the love. Love means a basic understanding, basic acceptance of oneself as Ishvara's manifestation. And if you cannot discover the compassion, well, you act it out as if you have compassion. This is how we do. This is how we do everything. Learn swimming by acting of swim. There is no other way. The coach tells the person, jump in the water, in shallow water, and do exactly what I do. But that boy says, well, you are swimming. I don't know swimming. How can I do? He says, you just act it out the way I do. And he learns. So definitely there is no other way. You learn swimming only by swimming. You learn driving by driving. Right? You learn cycling by cycling. Learn driving by driving. You put a L, of course, everywhere. On the front and back and on the other side. L means leave me alone. I'm telling you, the person who learns driving is the safest person on the road. Because everyone is leaving him. Yeah. Learn driving by driving. Learn cycling by cycling. Learn swimming by swimming. Learn to be compassionate by acting it out. How will I act out that I have compassion? Give some help in Infosave, I am telling you. Really? Just, I don't feel like doing any service. Service to anybody. As if you have a lot of compassion, you are reaching out to help others. Try, start. And you will find one day, you will call me, I will give you my number. Honestly, I am telling you. It's a principle of faking it till you
Make it.
really. It works. And that becomes the basis of your responses, in which you love yourself, you have a compassion for yourself, appreciating this background, and you love others. You cannot love others. You cannot have a compassion for others unless you love yourself or compassion. If you hate yourself, you hate the world. In fact, that alone manifests. Hate for oneself manifests in the form of hating others. Ultimately, it is oneself manifesting everywhere. And therefore, this is a way, well, we have to appreciate this psychological order, and then responding will be in terms of you have a sympathy. So basically, it's the whole life is ultimately becomes a search for this infallible, and once you discover this Ishvara, which is infallible, which is father and mother both, you will solve the issues which are pending with your parents in the childhood, violation of trust, and they have gone away from the awareness of the child, feeling insecure, fear, etc. All issues, even anger also. Anger also is same thing. The child cannot be, how much I talk, A child cannot be angry to the parents. Child has no scope to be angry on parents for some issue. That anger manifests. That's how you find, we are not in a process of judging, but you find some people are very angry. They get angry on every small thing. That anger is unresolved issue of the child, that frozen child. We have to process it. Taking into calling therapist. Ishvara is a therapist. Then, appreciate it first as a Ishvara's order, and then definitely sympathy, compassion arises, and you handle your emotion. You manage your emotion. You don't victimize anybody. In fact, that emotion starts healing. When compassion comes, healing starts. Right? So, this is what the thing is. The last thing, so when there is a fear, I welcome in so many words. I welcome fear. I welcome Ishvara. When fear comes, say this. This is how Ishvara is. When anger arises, tell this much. This is how Ishvara is. Look at yourself in the mirror. You find you are very ugly. This is how Ishvara is. Somebody, I am not able to tell that. Then you will react. In a one-step response, the devotee is eclipsed totally. In a two-step response, you remain devotee. If you remain devotee, naturally appreciating Ishvara, then you will be devotee later. This is how the things are. This is a way of processing. Anyway, so when I welcome fear, I welcome Ishvara. I go one step backward. Fear is my immediate response to the world, and it is not a conscious response naturally. It is unconsciousness. It is unconscious, and in the unconscious response, that frozen child is definitely there, controlling your response. So to welcome fear, I take a step backward, as I said, make a two-step response. Means I welcome fear, means I welcome Ishvara. And this is how Ishvara is, you should say. Once I realize this, then with reference to my own emotion, I become a healer of myself. So I consciously become a therapist to myself. In fact, the Ishvara becomes the greatest therapist for me in the form of order. This is how one becomes relatively free from fear. You have discovered, not gained fearlessness. You have discovered fearlessness. Please understand. Because already you are pervaded by the order, Ishvara, which you have started appreciating. So you discover fearlessness relatively. Abhayam pratishthan vindate. One level is over. Tomorrow, next level. Om Purnamadav Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari Om. Sorry, I took a little more time, but I wanted to complete this topic.